Good evening, Team Faith Dynasty coaches. It is Monday, April 17th, and I'm super excited for tonight's call. It's going to be super different, very hands-on, so I hope you have something to write with. But it's going to be literally a mindset call. We are continuing our Family Matters Team Call series. And of course, tonight's call it's called Honor Your Priorities. And honestly, in the last week, I've had certain events happen to me, and I just kind of felt in my heart that I should just share a little bit about family, priorities, business, and everything else in between. So, hi guys. My dog just opened my door. Before I get into the call, I do want to remind you that this month we have the All Access at $160. Super, super duper important that you push this month because I don't see them keeping it at that price. They haven't mentioned anything. I was looking in the wall today before I went on this call to see if there were any hints. Normally they hint certain things and nothing has been said. So I really feel like this might be just the one opportunity that we got to get it that cheap. And so I don't know about you guys, but it's been, getting people to commit to the $199 has been a no-brainer. And I think that now that it's at $160, hi Julie. And now that it's at $160, I feel like it's such a, it's a given, super easy. So go out there, talk to your friends, do follow-ups, talk to whoever you know should take advantage of this opportunity and put it in their faces. I promise you it's going to be worth it. Look at my hair. So guys, today I want to talk about honoring your priorities. And the reason why, like I said earlier, is because in the past week, certain events have happened. And then of course today, two things happened to me, in which I'll share in a minute. And one of them in a minute. And the other one, I had a call. Guys, can you please close the door, please? Thank you. Close it hard enough. Ace opened it. Sorry about that. I had a call with a coach earlier this morning, or earlier this afternoon, and she said, Mel, I just don't know how you do it. How do you just do it? You just meet Success Club. You just help your 5 people every month. And I'm like, I don't just meet Success Club. While I might make it seem like that, it's honestly a decision. It's a decision to say, this is what I'm doing. It's a decision I walk in the very first of the month, and it's just a decision. So I want to go back and kind of tell you the definition of mindset, because this coach said to me today, I wish I had your mindset. And it made me think, you know what? We talk a lot about mindset work, mindset this, mindset that. But what is mindset? I don't know. Do you perceive a certain definition? But to me, well, let me tell you what the definition is in the dictionary. The dictionary says mindset is a fixed mental attitude or disposition that predetermines a person's response to an interpretation of situations, an inclination, or a habit. And I started to think about that definition. And to me, to sum it up, mindset is simply a decision. That's it. If you think about it, it says, it is a fixed mental attitude or disposition that predetermines a person's response. And so putting it into the family context, because at the end of the day, that's what we're going to talk about, the different priorities that we have. This is not just about our business, even though to me, my business is part of my priorities list. And we're going to sit here and write together what these priorities are. And I'm going to ask you a series of questions for you to answer to yourself, not to share with us. If you want to share with your success partner on a call later on, if you want to share with your upline coach, great. But these are important questions that I have asked myself. And I think that's why this part of my business, along with the other 4 things that are a priority to me, are non-negotiable or equally important. And some people might say, well, I don't think it's equally important because your marriage shouldn't be, first of all, your relationship with God, because that should be first, your marriage, your children, How do you make that equally important? It's all about a balance. It's equally important, not necessarily in a percentage. It's not like, oh, it is 22% here and 20. No, that's not what I'm saying, but it is important to me for sure. And just like I wouldn't go and not, let's say, for example, paying the bills on time, it's a priority, right? Hitting Success Club in my business, it's a priority. It's a different type of priority, but it's a priority. It's something that I have to do each and every month, just like paying my rent and my car and my power. And, you know, if I don't pay for the power bill, what happens? It gets disconnected. If I don't work my business, what happens? It goes down the drain. And again, today it's a mindset call. I don't have slides. You know, I usually have PowerPoints, this and that. But I just want you to see how important your mindset is in order for you to meet your goals in every area in your life. So today, I woke up and I opened my On This Day on Facebook. I do that every morning, at least 3 to 4 times a week. Sometimes I forget, and then I'm like, oh man, I didn't look at the one from yesterday. But this morning, there was a post, and I can't remember exactly what it said. I should have copied and pasted. But basically, it was saying, today I made a decision, and the next 60 days are going to be hard, but it's going to get done, or something along those lines. And it took me back. Like, I remember why I wrote it. I remember exactly what, like everything. I remember everything. And let me tell you why. That day, I made a decision. Today is April 17th, which means I was a coach for exactly 2.5 months. I became a coach January 27 or 21st. I always get those two numbers confused. So literally 2.5 months into my coaching career, I was treating my coaching career as a hobby. And I knew that. I used to say, I just want to help my friends and family. I never would have expected to reach out to Jessica, who was my leasing agent years ago, because she wasn't part of my inner circle. My business was, in the beginning, was strictly for friends and family. And even then, it wasn't just any friends and family. It was friends and family that I was comfortable with. For example, Julissa. Julissa came to me about a challenge pack. She came to me asking me, what is this 21-day fix thing you're promoting? I didn't dare to reach out to the family that I wasn't 110% super comfortable with. I went to my warm market. My warm market was my best friends and people that I just knew that I wasn't intimidated and they wouldn't think of me as a salesperson. That's who I reached out to in the beginning. That's who I would talk to, and I kept it there, okay? So 2 months into coaching, I had my first conversation with Allie, 2 months into coaching. And she said to me, listen, you have the drive. I've looked at your Facebook, you know, blah, 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 blah. She told me all these things. She said, I want you to, do you see yourself taking this to another level, or do you want to keep it as is? And at that moment, I said, no, like, I know that I want this, but I don't know how. And she said, I'm going to take you under my wing. I want to put you in this business builders group or training. And I was like, okay, let me talk to my husband. She told me what it entails. She was upfront. She said, you need to separate an hour a day for training. The trainings are 45 minutes long. Then you have an assignment with it. Like, she was straightforward with it, about it. I said, okay, let me talk to my husband. That night, my husband and I spoke. And this is where it goes to honoring your priorities. Even though it's the business, I had to go to my husband, you know, the head of the household, and ask if it was okay for me to sacrifice time, because the business had to run, but now I'm committing to a business course on top of the business. And so I had to make sure that my husband was okay with it. And he, of course, was like, if you think this is going to take your business to another level, you're going to learn more, blah, blah, blah. Like, he was super supportive. He's like, sure, that's fine. It meant I let go of certain shows at night. It meant me going to sleep an hour later, possibly. Like, we put up all the options, but we made it happen. And that day, I went on Facebook and I just kind of shared, like, you know, the next 60 days it was a 60-day business builders course. the next 60 days, blah, blah, blah. I forgot what I said. If you go on my Instagram story, you'll see it because I actually featured it on there, whatever you call that, shared it. So again, it was a decision. And in that day, I decided I'm going to hit Success Club. I am going to have a thriving freaking business. Like, that was the night, well, the night before. That was the night that I just made a decision that I will never, ever, ever not ever hit Success Club, that I will never not help 3 people per month. Just like that. That was the day. Why? Because I made a decision. My mindset was there. But this is what it took to get there. And this is what I want to share with you today. Number 1, you have to ask yourself these questions. What are your values? Number 2, what are your responsibilities? Number 3, what is worth investing time into? Number 4, what are my gifts? And the reason why that was important to me, and I got these questions when I was talking to my pastor about my business, by the way, before I even launched my business. These are questions he asked me. And the reason why the gifts question is so important is because sometimes, and I've gotten people actually that have joined this business for the money, but sure, I'll repeat it in a second. They've joined this business for the money, but they were never in it because they had a servant heart. I don't know if that makes sense. And so number 3, Barbara, was what is worth investing my time into? And number 4, what are my gifts? Do you love helping people? Do you love, like for me, I love helping people. I serve people every day without expecting anything in return. I love coordinating. I love motivating. You guys have been in my challenge groups. Like, I make it fun. We become a sisterhood, and I say it in my welcome letter, in the welcome packet, I say it. I'm like, by the end of these 21 days, you will be in a sisterhood. And Yvonne, tell me your experience in this past challenge group with Darlene and Gary. And, I'm telling you, like, we have become sisters from strangers 21 days ago, literally 22 days today, strangers, to like now we're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to go to Orlando and hug you, Yay! Like that. And so I love creating that experience for people. I love creating this virtual sisterhood, uniting people, regardless if it's this virtual thing, So what are your gifts? What do you love to do? You love leading people. I love leading people. I love showing the way. I love leading the way. And number 5, how do you want to be remembered? How do you want to be remembered? I want to be remembered first and foremost, and people are like, what? Like, I want to be remembered by my girls for the mom that never gave up. I want to be remembered by youth and young adults and women, and yes, all that is important to me. But first and foremost, I want to be remembered by my kids like the mom that no matter how she felt that day, doesn't matter how depressed, because I have my days, depressed, down, doubtful. Doesn't matter what kind of negative emotion is in me, that I'm going to sleep that night knowing that I gave my all no matter what. That 5th question to me is so key. And it makes my mindset, like, regardless of how I feel, it takes it up a notch each and every time I think about it. Each and every time. So, how do I make this happen? Number 1, begin the discovery. Ask those questions. Number 2, figure out what are your priorities, right? Number 3, and so for me, let me just tell you what my priorities are. Spiritual growth, number 1. Number 2, my marriage. Number 3, my family, meaning my girls and family, period. But you know what I mean? Because marriage and family, completely different. I used to be that person that used to have it in one category, and my pastor called me out on it, and he like took me to the Bible, because it became a problem in my home when I first got married. Number 4, my business, and number 5, my fitness. I have it in 2 different categories in my calendar. That's just me. I like to complicate my life, I think. Number 3, once you figure out your priorities, figure out why they're a priority. Why are they? For me, my spiritual growth comes first and foremost. Number 2, my marriage. Like, I schedule time for us. Every day I'm like, babe, like today I was like, as soon as I get off the call, I'm disconnecting. I already washed dishes. I already did my wife duties, my home wife duties. And like, once I'm done with you ladies, like, it's my husband's time. Like, you have to be intentional with that priority. And when it's hubby's time, ladies, it's hubby's time. You leave this sucker in the bathroom on the other side of the room. Put it on silent, you know? Family, you know? This weekend, I was able to just literally, like, this is another reason why I love the fact that I'm not tied down to corporate anymore or some 8 to 5 job. I just picked up my kids. Last minute, we decided to rent a house through Airbnb, and we just went to the woods. And I was sharing with Yvonne this morning, you know, unfortunately, like, I didn't have internet. Like, I wasn't expecting that. The internet broke down and this and that happened. So I didn't get to work, but I got to spend, because I had time scheduled for work, but I spent so much time with my kids, and we had so much fun. And I took their girlfriends with us, and it was just amazing. Like, we had such a nice time. Had I been stuck to an 8 to 5 job, that wouldn't have happened. It would have been and Kyla would have been in some either karate care or some kind of basketball camp, or, you know, I don't want that. I want to enjoy these experiences. I want my family to be a priority to me in that area. Like, I get it. Now, we don't all have that. Tomorrow or Thursday, I don't even know when I'm going to share about this, but I'm going to share how, you know, and I've been kind of teasing out there how I didn't have that whole stay-at-home experience in the beginning when they were babies. But guess what? I have it now, and I'm going to milk it. I'm going to milk it. I'm going to take advantage of it. I wish I would have done it when they were babies. But you know what? They're teenagers now. They need me more than ever. The way society is going and the way this world is going, this is when they need me the most. And and that gives me peace. The fact that it's never too late, you know? Next is business. You know, what are my business priorities? And I have to schedule myself. I schedule my time, especially when it's a busy season for me, like this one. And of course, my fitness, which is actually my biggest struggle. And I'm very open about that. Working out is not my thing. I can do this business all day long. I can talk to people all day long about this business. Listen, this business gave me freedom. This business helped me. Therefore, I joyfully talk about it like, you need this because it helped me so much, you know? And I openly share it. But the fitness side of this business is just not. It's not. But you know what? It's a part of it. And every day I enjoy it just a tiny bit more. I'm not as good as Jalissa. I'm not as good as Zelly. But you know what? Like, it's a part of it. There's always something in the business that you might not find it as joyful, but you know what? It's a part of it, and you make the best of it. So, part 3, scheduling it. So now take your priorities, figure out what needs to be done. For example, my spiritual growth, I have time in my calendar separated. For prayer, fasting, and prayer, fasting, and reading the word or a book. in the book, because normally I'm also reading some resources and stuff depending on what I'm in that season. But it's scheduled. I don't just get up and say, let me see what time today I'm choosing to spend time with God. No, that's priority. That's there. Schedule that first. Like, put God above all. Put God above all. It can't be like, oh, I'll just do it when I'm driving. Like, no, like separate, even if it's 10, 15 minutes. Spend that time with God. Give God your best time, not the leftovers, not when you're tired. You know? And number two, when it comes to scheduling my marriage, like I said, you know, like I don't have calls on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Fridays. That's literally like time with my husband. You know, I check in very late at night on my challenge groups after he goes to sleep. He's like my little viejito. He's in bed by 10:30. I can't. I'm in bed by 10:30, but I'm like, okay, he's sleeping. Now I could grab my phone, check my challenge groups, or check whatever, you know, once he's done, when he's out, you know? And then the same thing goes for family. You know, what are you going to do with your kids? You know, and things like that. Your time with your kids and the whole family and things like that. Business. Do you have your power hour schedule? Yvonne, you'll learn what power hour is soon. But do you have business hour schedule? We talked about this, Yvonne. You haven't learned about the business, but today I said, listen, yes, take out the time. And for now, that's going to be your training time, your new coach camp training time. And that turns into your power hour time. But you're already creating disciplines. All of this is just creating disciplines. And number 4, honor your priorities. You can identify them. You could discover them. You could identify them. You could schedule them. But at the end of the day, you have to honor them. And that's the part that's the hardest. Because we know, for example, business-wise, we know we got to do a power hour. We know we got to finish that new coach camp training. I know I got to get my fitness in. I wake up saying, okay, I'm going to wake out today. But is it on the schedule? Like, once it's on the schedule, am I honoring that time? Am I honoring my commitment? And that goes to everything, from your spiritual life to your marriage. And I'm using these as an example. Maybe your priorities are a little different than mine, but I think that all of us, we're very similar. So I know, I'm almost sure that these are part of your priorities. You know, maybe you have some more, like ministry. Right now, that's not the season God has me. This is the ministry that God has given me for now. But 2 years ago, when I first did this exercise, on here was YX time, which was my church, Calvario, and the district. They were part of my priorities. I had 7 categories at the time. Those 2 are out right now. Lord willing, soon I'll be in ministry physically. But does this make sense, ladies?
Yes.
Yes, awesome. So ask yourself those questions, figure it out. And I want to read this to you because I read this today and I was like, wow. It says, if we want to manage ourselves to our full potential, we must have priorities that precede and pre-qualify our goals. A set of priorities is a necessary measure by which our goals may be chosen and our opportunities evaluated. That rocked my world. Because at the end of the day, we can have other priorities, but if we don't put certain goals into action that match our priorities, then we're not going to fulfill and honor the priorities that we're supposed to as the daughter of the king, wife, mom, entrepreneur, and everything else that you may have. So I hope that helped somebody. I hope it helped. I know a lot of you are kind of wondering, how can I make this a non-negotiable goal? How can I do this? And I think it goes back to aligning it as a priority. Is it a priority? And if it is, how? Identify how is this a priority? What is it doing to you or for you? For me, this business personally pays 4 main bills, 4 of our main bills. And if I don't, including my daughter's college now, and if I don't work it, things don't get paid. You know? So
Yeah.
I can't just say, oh, I'm trying to hit Success Club this month. Oh, I don't know. Or, trying is not enough. We got to do. And this is my part. I have to do, So do you guys have any questions, comments, concerns? Yvonne, this is not the normal pep talk that we have, but I felt like we needed a mindset call when it comes to honoring our priorities. So
It's good.
awesome. Awesome. Kari, Barbara, Jessica, anything? Are you muting, Barbara? Oh, okay. I saw you came on camera, so. All right, ladies. Well, if you don't have any questions or comments or anything, really, really appreciate you guys hopping on tonight. Kari says, thank you. I needed this. You're welcome, Kari. I miss your pretty face. But again, just make sure that you ask yourself these questions. I feel like they're super key to being consistent in our business. And it just, I keep taking it back to the business because obviously this is the setting we're in, but it just goes back to any area in life. So you should go back and listen to the recording. If you need the notes, let me know. I'm willing to send it to you guys. So, all right. Thank you. You guys have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.